Okay, work this time. Welcome to MissNJoy's Tarot. I'm MissNJoy. And I'm going to, this is Cosmic Chat. I'll be talking about astrology. Waiting for my chat to fill up a little bit. Took me a while to get up here. It kept telling me that cannot connect at this time. I don't know. But finally, it let me up here. I don't know what the hell. I don't know why that happens. I'm going to have to Google it and see what's going on with YouTube when that happens. Let me get logged in, and I am going to hang on. Where is it? All right, and let me send out my link. I am late. I went out to dinner with my daughters, but I could have been up here a half hour ago. I would have only been 30 minutes late. But YouTube was having technical difficulties. If I can just get logged in somewhere. Okay. Spirit, what are you doing? There's laundry detergent in the bag. Detergent in the bag. There's no food in the bag. Get out of the bag. What is this? Okay. All right. If anyone is watching, let me see. Is anybody watching? It says two watching now. But I'm waiting to see if the chat fills up a little bit. Hey, Keisha Stewart. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. I miss you. I'm waiting to see if we get more people in the chat. I sent Marie a notification and see if she gets here. Of course, I posted notifications on my page. Did you get a notification? Oops. What in the world? Okay. Okay, I pinned the message, but okay, there it is. All right. Well, we'll see. Let's see if we get anybody in. Let me pull up. Oh, I got to cover. It's my birthday, Keisha Stewart. There's supposed to be a freeze warning, and it's supposed to be cold all weekend. I just wanted to go to the beach. I'm so frustrated. It's just like 2 years in a row now, because last year, COVID, they lifted our curfew here, so I would have been good. But last year, COVID had just hit, so I couldn't. So 2 years in a row now, the universe is like, no birthday for you, bitch. I'm like, for real? I'm like, for real? Hey, Marie, how you doing? So yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. I did. I went out with my daughters. I treated myself to breakfast this morning, and I came home and I did, that foot peel thing that you do. So to like renew that, you molt basically. You like shed the current layer of skin on your feet. So I did one of those like 2 days ago, and you're supposed to soak your feet for a couple of days after that. So I went and got my breakfast. Came home. I sat my favorite breakfast from IHOP. I came home. I soaked my feet and ate my breakfast and sat there and chilled. So, and then I took a nap. So I've had a leisurely day. But I work for myself now. I can have a leisurely day any day. Well, no, I can't because people ask things of me, but I wanted to actually like I wanted to do something for my freaking birthday. So I went to dinner with my daughters, but we go to dinner all the time. Not that it wasn't special. I got a cupcake. Yeah, the girl that our server brought me a cupcake because there's a bakery attached to. We went to a Greek restaurant, so there's a bakery. They have a bakery as well. So, she brought me a cupcake. I haven't eaten my cupcake yet. It's just in there. So I got a cupcake. So, well, you two are here, so I guess at least I'll get into it. Let me start by explaining how to get your natal zodiac chart without using me or another astrologer. There are two websites that I use depending on It just depends, because one they could anytime you're dealing with a website, you can get one that doesn't want to load right or acts wonky sometimes. So always have two on hand as a backup. So the two that I mainly use are, hold on, let me pull them up. I'll use astroseek.com, and basically it's a birth chart calculator, and it looks like, if it'll show it, it looks like this. So you go to this page and you scroll down and you put in your information, date, year, month, of course, a day, year, month, time, if you know the time of your birth date, and then your place of birth. And then you hit calculate chart. And then it pulls up your chart. So for instance, for me, I'm April 1st, 1975. I was born at 1:53 I was born at 1:53 p.m. and I was born in Oyster Bay, New York. And so, and it starts, it goes a little out of order because it tells you you're ascending first. Your ascendant is in Leo. Then it talks about your medium coli. I never really deal with the medium coli because honestly, usually it's like in the same house as your sun sign. So I just don't really, and it's people with Aries in the 10th house cusp are determined to gain professional reputation. In their youth, they may choose a profession that is not suitable for them as a consequence of rebellion or impulsive urge. However, when they finally settle, they become diligent workers who strive to excel in their work and be the best. The planet Mars, which rules Aries, rules affairs of the 10th house. It is a planet of determination, action, courage, energy, effort, and ambition. These people push forward. They try to be better than others, and they like to be leaders. Okay? So, in medium coli, it symbolizes status, career, reputation, honors, fame, success, authoritative personality. Okay? So basically your medium coli is career, prestige, and your reputation. So I really don't feed too much into that one. I don't really chart that, but it is there. I'm just telling you how it reads as you look down the page. Then it'll have your sun sign. My sun is in Aries, which your sun sign, it describes your sun sign as the sun symbolizes a personal identity. It shows us areas where the person should learn to be independent, where he or she should fulfill his potentials, differentiate himself from others, and shine. The position of the sun may tell us which profession would best suit the character of the person. And sun, self, individuality, and personality. Okay? Then it's got the moon sign, emotions, instincts, roots. Okay? The place in the horoscope where the moon tells us what gives a person a sense of security and where to find it. It describes how sensitive we are and how we instinctively interact with our surroundings. The moon also tells us about our childhood and our experiences with our mother. And my moon is in Sagittarius. And basically for me it says, my greatest need is to always search for something. In order to feel safe, you need a philosophy or belief. You need to have a goal or mission that gives your life meaning. Your faith must be voluntary in this paradox that fighting against dogmas may lead you to other dogmas, which is true. Okay. No, go back. I didn't mean to. Okay. All right, next. So basically, I am a Aries sun, Sagittarius moon, and a Leo rising. Okay? All right. So, Mercury, thinking, communication, intellect, and learning. My Mercury is in Pisces. So basically what that means is, even though I'm an Aries sun and a Sagittarius moon and a Leo rising, I communicate like a Pisces. I could think, communicate, have the intellect and the learning styles and abilities of a Pisces. Okay? Venus is sexuality, love, harmony, and pleasure. And my Venus is in Taurus. So basically, I love like a Taurus. Mars, activity, energy, courage, and assertiveness. My Mars is in Aquarius. So I handle, it's also how you handle, they leave a little bit out. Okay, Mars symbolizes the need to get what we want. This means our driving force, which includes sex drive, initiative, and courage. Mars tells us about our desires, sensuality, courage, and will. It also tells us about how we are able to overcome obstacles and how active we are. It's also how you handle issues, challenges, dramas, adversities, conflict. Okay, that was kind of left out. Let me go back because I didn't read the Venus symbolizes attractivity. Signs, which is in Venus, tells us that we are attracted, tells us what we are attracted to, and this enables us to give or receive love and affection, beauty and happiness, values and principles. The negative side is that it represents weaknesses and shallowness as well. Okay? All right. Like I said, my Venus is in Taurus. My Mars is in Aquarius. So basically, I handle conflict like an Aquarius, which means I choose not to. Well, at a point, I chose not to. Now I handle up on conflict because I've had so much of it. So even though you may be or have a specific zodiac sign that actually lends you those traits within that house, I like to call them environmental factors, will figure in to that trait, that characteristic. However, because for instance, even if you are like Aquariuses are very passive aggressive. An Aquarius would really prefer to avoid drama, to avoid conflict, don't really want to talk about it or deal with it at all. And so honestly, that's how I was the most part of my life. I would just kind of go along with things because I just didn't even want to fight about it. You know what I'm saying? Which gave people a lot of power over me. So because due to environmental factors, that changed. For instance, one of those things I've talked about it before that changed that factor for me was being passive aggressive and just kind of letting people walk over me and get away with shit and not responding and just, you know, just because I didn't want to deal with the conflict. I wanted to avoid conflict and drama. Which helped, honestly, because with all the fire in my main three places, if I had been an Aries in Mars as well, I would have fucked some people up. Just quite honestly. It would have been too much fire. So I needed that air and that energy. You need things to balance themselves out within your chart. But I found that balance on my own. I'm not being too passive aggressive and what's the word I'm looking for? Avoidant of conflict, because I had one of those reasons that brought me out of that. One of the environmental factors that changed that was me having kids. Because when you have your children, you don't let anybody, you know, mama bear comes out. You don't let anybody fuck with your kids. And that will drag you out, whether you like conflict or not. Boy, if you come for my kids, there's going to be some conflict. Cool, believe that. Me and my daughter were just talking about all the bus drivers And teachers I had to cuss out over the years. And why? I had one that my youngest two daughters are twins. I had one that actually told one they did this experiment one year where they put twins, siblings, or relatives in the same class to see how it would go, because we had such a large occurrence in a small town of cousins and relatives ending up in the same class, or they tried not to, but it was hard because so many people were related in a small town. So they put both of my daughters in the same class, and I was like, I don't like it. First of all, I don't like it. And lo and behold, this ignorant ass teacher told my daughter, one of my daughters, why can't you just be like your sister? Lord, my husband had to hold me back. My husband had to hold me back. I was ready to catch that bitch in the parking lot. Don't you ever compare those babies. They are twins, but they are not the same, and they are not meant to be the same. And where one has strengths, the other one has weaknesses, and vice versa. Okay, they are very night and day, but they fit together wonderfully. So I was not about to have, hey Sharon, welcome. So I was not about to have that going on because it'll make the other one feel bad. It'll make her feel like she's not as good. Tell her I said thank you, Marie. It'll tell her that, let me tone down my language because I know your baby was here. It'll make the other one see you can't compare them, even if they're not twins, they're your children, because it'll make one seem like the other one feels better. They'll feel lesser than. They'll feel like, well, my sister is better than me. No. So I was highly upset. So environmental factors will influence different aspects. For instance, Aries are very strong-minded. I know of someone who dated, and he dated me thinking I was an Aries and I would be a pushover, because the lady he dated previously was in Aries and she was a pushover. However, she had been abused, vastly, majorly abused growing up and in her childhood and in her youth. So she was beat down. She was a broken down Aries. She was not a full strength Aries. She was one that was used to being abused and walked on. I was not having that. So he was fully thrown back. Well, Aries are no. I'm an actual Aries. I'm a non-watered down Aries. I'm not broken down. She was broken down. There's a difference. So, that was Mars. Next is Jupiter. My Jupiter is in Aries. Jupiter is happiness, optimism, and expansion. Jupiter symbolizes growth, expansion, laws, faith, and ethics that guide it. It represents a sense of development and support, which can lead to opportunities, wealth, and faith. However, if Jupiter is damaged, the person becomes immoral and extremist. Yeah, this says I trust too easily. I try to give everybody a good chance and a clean slate. It says people with Jupiter and Aries have the enthusiasm and trust of a child, and that is why they may get far in life. However, they should be careful that their natural energy does not turn into arrogance, or that their generosity into extravagance. Their faith rests on the principle that life will take care of those who live it. For them, spontaneous trust is the most positive way of being. They believe that when things do not go according to their plan, they should keep in mind that there is so much ahead of them, and that life reserves of possibilities and experiences are inexhaustible. I do. People with Jupiter and Aries often become leaders. They are independent, impulsive, enthusiastic, and creative. That's me. And Jupiter protects people born under its influence while they are doing their activities. Their children are also usually males. No, I was equal. I was equal in gender for pregnancies. For instance, I had 4 pregnancies, but I had 5 children because I had a set of twins. So basically, I had boy, girl, girl, but there were 2 girls of 1 pregnancy. So I had gender balance, not, I just got a twofer the last time. Other than that, I would have been balanced. I would have had equal amount, not just boys. Because boy, if I had just boys, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd be in a nut house somewhere, just rocking back and forth, just crying, just, why, Lord? Especially if any of them had turned out like if any more of them had turned out like my oldest son. Oh my God. Headache. Love him though. I do. He was just a headache. He's still a headache, and he's 30. He is COVID, y'all. Pray for him. He's incarcerated and he has COVID. So pray for him. Okay, so Saturn. Restriction, order, maturity, and time. Saturn is our strict teacher who is able to ruthlessly examine our maturity. However, it is not only the depot, but also the archetype of the sage who uses pain as a means to get attention on what we should focus on and what we should continue to develop. Thank you, Sharon. Hey. My Saturn is in Cancer. Okay, yeah, that's all true. Okay, so Uranus, originality, freedom, and revolution. Uranus is the power of awakening, which often means that there will be some disruption and change. Events under the influence of Uranus are unexpected or unpredictable, forcing us to do things in a new way and face the truth about this or that issue. My Uranus is in Scorpio. Neptune, fantasy, illusion, spirituality, and imagination. Neptune is called the Lord of the Invisible Empire, which is a mysterious name of a mysterious planet. Perhaps we could describe it as a dimension of life that cannot be experienced by our five senses, and we can only understand and perceive it in our imagination. My Neptune is in Sagittarius. Okay? Let's move on. Pluto. Transformation, regeneration, and power. Pluto is a planet of death and rebirth. It is the end of all things. It is the judgment day. It can give rise to obsessions or convictions on the dark end of the spectrum. It can manifest as succumbing to the urge of, or it can create an individual who has the ability to get to the core of things, destroy negative things, and bring on healing and transformation. My Pluto is in Libra. Lunar nodes. Okay. This is the one. This is my pet peeve with other readers. If you ever hear a reader say, like we say sun, moon, rising, and Venus, that's appropriate. If, for instance, it's a business or work-related reading, you could possibly do it for, look at your Mercury, your Jupiter, or your Mars. If it's a house that touches on a business aspect, then you could use that as well. However, you could apply any of the planets depending on exactly what trait or what issue you're looking for reading about. You get what I'm saying? Except for your north and south nodes. So if ever you hear a reader say sun, moon, rising, and Venus and north node, click away. Just click right on off. Because this person does not know what the heck they are talking about. Okay? A reading for your north or south node would be a life path reading or a past life reading. Okay? All right. Let me explain. Because the north and south node, lunar nodes aren't planets, okay? But rather astrological mathematical points that are directly opposite each other in the chart. It is said that your life purpose, basically on the moon, there are 2 points. It doesn't say that. I don't know why. But there are 2 points. The north and south node are on the moon. And that's the two polar opposite points on the moon. That's where north and south node is taken from. Okay. All right. So it is said that your life purpose is encoded between them in the line between north and south node. The south node indicates your comfort zone, your habitual place, while your north node shows life lessons and what you're striving for in this lifetime. Both lunar nodes are almost always retrograde. Okay, so that's because of how the moon cycles. Okay, so I'm going to put in the comments, if you do your zodiac sign. Let me get a full page, not a post-it, so I can remember everything I need to, all the links that I need to leave for you guys. I need to leave the AstroSeek link. Now, the best person that I have watched, and when I do a life path reading or I do a zodiac workup and consultation, when directing someone to the meaning and purpose and the description of their north and south nodes, I use Eliza Verse, and I'll put a link to her page in the comments. She is awesome. She gives a very clear and concise explanation of what the north and south node are and how it affects you. And then she goes into what your north and south node are and what you want to do in order to navigate that in this life. Okay? So, and it's always going to be the exact opposite. For instance, like my where is it? My north node is in Sagittarius. So my south node is in Gemini. That's the complete opposite. If your north node were in Aries, then your south node would be in Libra. You get me? It's going to be the polar opposite sign, would be your south node. Now, like I said, your north node is going to speak to your current life path and what you should be focusing on and doing. And your south node is going to talk about what you were in your past life and why you feel drawn to still doing that, because you will feel drawn and an aversion to wanting to do what you're used to, what your soul, your spirit is used to and comfortable doing. But in order to grow, because as you know, you're supposed to learn something different in every life. So if you will never ascend, you'll never reach nirvana if you stick to your south node. If you were a teacher in your last life and you just keep teaching in your predecessing lives or your new lives, then you will never, you never do anything different. So if you're a teacher in that life, you're going to want to do something different in this life. You know what I mean? You're going to want to get out of your comfort zone. You need to explore all. It is said that the Buddha reached ascension, he reached nirvana, because he had actually experienced life as every being there is on this earth to experience life as, and every experience. And that is how he reached nirvana. So you have to do something different in each consecutive life. You can't just keep living the same one over and over. That's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work. And that's not how you grow. Okay? You don't grow by staying in your comfort zone. You grow by doing new things and trying new things and taking new paths. That's how you grow. Okay. That's my closet over here collapsing on me. All right. So it really irritates me when people are doing a love reading or a general reading or a daily reading or just a monthly, whatever, and they go Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node. And I'm like, huh? No. So if you ever hear that, the person does not know what they're talking about. And I don't watch people who don't know what they're talking about. So I advise clicking off immediately. Okay? All right. So that's your North and South Node. Now, the other thing that I do, and I'll show you my zodiac charts that I use in a minute. Hi, UT girl. The other aspect that I use which is basically the dark side of the moon, okay? Your moon sign is the front side of the moon, the illuminated side that we see, and Lilith will be your dark side of the moon, okay? Well, actually, I take that back. Not really the dark side of the moon. Let me explain. Let me explain it properly. Okay, so Lilith, there's a point. It's not really that side. Okay, there is a point between the way that, because you know the moon orbits us, the earth. There is a point in between the earth and the moon that is devoid of light, and it's always like pitch black dark because of how it sits in that area. It's just the way it there's one spot where there's no light ever, okay, because of how the orbit and the rotations go. All right, so excuse me, that area, that point is considered Lilith, okay? Black Lilith. So it's called the black moon, fascination and denial. It's like your rebellious side. It doesn't say that here, but that's really kind of what it is. It's like your rebellious side, all right? Okay. Lilith is a fictional point, the second empty focal point or elliptical orbit of the moon around the earth. In mythology, Lilith refused to submit to Adam. I'm going to put a link if you don't know who Lilith is. I'm going to put a link about who Lilith is. If you don't know, you will know. I ate onion rings, y'all. I'm having a little acid reflux. Have mercy. They were good. They were beer battered. Straight water tonight, y'all. Okay, so. Okay, now. In mythology, Lilith refused to submit to Adam, rebelled against the connection between Adam and Eve, decided to escape from the world of people and made a connection with Satan. In astrology, Lilith symbolizes either fascination or refusal of topics which she is connected with. Basically, rebellion. Both the fascination or the rejection of the given topics can eventually engulf the person and take him away from the human world. So basically, think about how that applies. I just said I have a son that's incarcerated. If you want to continue to rebel, what's going to happen to you? Nothing good. If you don't obey the laws and go along with what primitive life, the order and the rules and the laws that our world has established, they put your ass away somewhere, be it in a mental hospital or a jail or a facility of some kind. You go somewhere, they take you somewhere, they get you the hell out of society so that you don't ruin anyone else. Okay, or cause any chaos or havoc. All right, so my Lilith is in Pisces. And I'm going to read it so that you have an idea of what Lilith is going to tell you about in your chart. I'm going to read mine, which mine is in Pisces. There are also links. Most of what I'm telling you, there are links to. There's another guy, and I'm going to put him. Who is he? Let me find him really quick. I forget what he calls himself, and I forget what he calls his channel. Hold on, let me find him. I like his Venus sign. Okay, he is Finesse. And I'll put the link to his page in the comments as well. He does, I believe he does, hold on. I think that was him. Yes, he does. He does Lilith's as well. So basically, you can either go to his page or you can just search. You can just put in Lilith and Pisces, Lilith and Taurus, whatever it is for you in your chart. And it'll tell you. Same with Venus. You can put in, and that's who I use Astro Finesse for my Venus signs. And for, he'll go through all, I believe he goes through all of them. I believe I believe he talks about Mars. I believe he talks about, let me look at his videos. Okay, let me see if he's got it under playlists. Right, he does. He's got it all. He's got Sharon signs, Uranus signs, astrology houses, Jupiter signs, Midhaven signs, Saturn signs, Lilith signs, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Venus, numerology. He's got it. He's got everything. He even has an Astrology 101. So he's really on his astrology tip. And that's Astro Finesse. But still, for North and South Node, I really prefer Eliza Verse. I really hadn't listened to any of his North or South Node videos. But I will, and I'll see what they're like now that I mentioned it. But I like his Venus and his Lilith, which is all I've really listened to as of yet from him. So that's Astro Finesse. I'll put his link in the description, in the comments as well, on the outside of the chat on the regular video. So, but let me read it to you so that you understand what information it may give you about your Lilith sign. But this is mine. This is Pisces. Fascination with self-sacrifice and bending into others. Prophetic vision or death. I'm a prophet. There you go. I have visions. Lilith gives these people the ability to feel connected with everything, even with their deepest thoughts and the cosmic soul. These people are often midwives, prophets, and wise men or women. However, they may also perceive life as suffering and succumb to very dubious mystical ways that they believe bring mysterious abilities or can heal people. I do. Beware of alcohol, foot injury, and loss of consciousness. All of these things as well. I haven't had the loss. Well, yeah, I do. I used to pass out all the time. Masculine would come home and I'd be like, I passed out today. And it happened a few months ago. I had a bruise and everything. And I just don't know. I attribute it to lupus or whatever. I just chalked it up to whatever, but it says it here. And a lot of times, though, I'll pass out and I'll have a vision. So I don't know if that's spirit or God source universe's way of, but it happens. Okay? All right. So that's Lilith, okay? Sharon. Now, Sharon is the wounded healer, inner teacher. Sharon is currently in Aries. My Sharon is in Aries as well. So Aries is currently in Sharon, or Sharon is currently in Aries, okay? So it's really affecting people with Sharon in Aries currently. It really kind of forces you to do shadow work and healing. Really, really, really. I didn't bring my sweater over here. I need to turn this fan off. I have several things going on. Okay, so I need to cover my garden. Dang it. Okay, all right, it's supposed to freeze tonight. I gotta cover my plants. Anyway, Sharon is an asteroid between Saturn and Uranus. Its orbit is very unusual and represents a bridge between the material and the spiritual worlds. According to mythology, Sharon was a great healer, wise teacher, and one of the immortal centaurs. Unfortunately, he was deadly. Injured. He was deadly injured. I don't like how that reads, but whatever. He was deadly injured. He was fatally injured is what they should have said. He was fatally injured by a poisonous arrow shot by Hercules. His favorite disciple. Oh. He was suffering and in great pain, but he could not die because he was immortal. Finally, he gave up his immortality for the benefit of Prometheus, who was also suffering, and Charon was sent to the underworld. In the underworld, Zeus had mercy for him, and he raised him to the heavens. In astrology, Charon symbolizes our unhealable injuries and incurable traumas. However, if a person, instead of drowning in his or own trauma, is able to accept the trauma and help others who are also suffering, and accept that suffering is part of life, then Charon may be the key to wisdom, or even some sort of initiation to the gate. All right? These people may be traumatized by the fact that despite all their efforts, they are not successful in many of their endeavors because they are not very proactive and assertive. They lack the appropriate dose of healthy aggression needed in competitive society in order to survive competition with those who are too harsh and ruthless. They usually compensate for this with exaggerated activity, but the results never correspond with the effort they put in. Yes. I never get what I give. I never receive reciprocity. Here with you all is the only place that I ever receive reciprocity. So I want to say thank you to my collective and to my soul family. Here is the only place that I've ever gotten back what I gave or what I put in and what I did for others. So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay? All right. So, moving forward. So, that basically sums up what I do. And let me show you. Hold on. Let me grab it. See if I can. No, I can't grab it without getting up. Hold on. Well, I can slide. Yeah, I did it. I got it. Okay. So, let me show you what I use. Okay. Okay. Woo. I'm feeling the onion rings, y'all. Damn it. Okay. My notebook fell and hit the wire. Hold on. All right. There we go. Okay, so clients, family, blank. Okay, so when I write out when I do my zodiac charts for my clients, this is the chart that I use. This is the chart that I printed out to use. This is my natal zodiac chart. I go, where's my pen? I go Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Lilith, Charon, North Node, South Node, and then I put notes. Okay? So, the one other thing I didn't explain. A lot of people want to know what rising actually is. I forgot to talk about what it actually is. I told you what traits it is, but I didn't tell you what it actually is, like planetary wise. Rising, because when they very first started doing astrology, they did not have a complete understanding of how the universe works. The assumption was that at first, the assumption was not that we all rotated around the sun and orbited the sun. The assumption was that everything orbited us because we were the focal point. And as looking out, it looks like you're moving around, everything's moving around you. Not that we are just one planet in alignment with all the other planets and we are all rotating around the sun, orbiting the sun. So when the first zodiac charts were calculated, the first planetary placements were calculated, we were left out. we were considered the focal point, so we were left out. So if I had to, the best way that I could explain it, the way I see it as, which is actually what it is your rising or your ascendant is where the which also explains why it changes and you need the time. And then same thing for the moon. You need the time because like the moon is orbiting around us daily. You know what I'm saying? It goes around us once a day. We go around we rotate once a day. So where, and that's where, and location counts as well. So that's why for your moon and your rising sign, you have to have the time because basically the rising or ascendant is where we are, where the sun is on the horizon in reference to the earth in your place of birth and your time of birth. Okay? So that's why it has to be very specific in order to find out what your rising sign is. Moon sign is not quite so hard to find out, but your ascendant is definitely. You need to know where you were born and you need to know what time you were born because it changes. It's constantly changing because we're constantly, the earth is rotating and the moon is orbiting us and we are orbiting the sun. So basically, if it was me, and in my opinion, it shouldn't say rising. What it should say is sun, moon, earth instead of sun, moon, rising. It should say sun, moon, earth, because have you ever noticed that that's missing? We say sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars in a zodiac chart, but there's no earth. That's what the equivalent of rising would be. So it should say, instead of sun, moon, rising, we should be saying sun, moon, and earth, because that's what it is. It's the point where the earth was on the horizon, or the sun on the horizon, or the sun was on the horizon, and whatever, in reference to the sun, where the earth was on the horizon in reference to the sun at the time of your birth. You got me? I hope you got me. All right. So technically, your rising sign is where the earth was in reference to the sun when your butt was born. So that's how I do. Next, I'm going to talk about you and your person. So when you contact MissNJoy and you're going to get a reading and it's going to be about love, I would like for you to at least know, if you can't find out what time that person was born, to at least know what their birth date is and year. Shut up. What are you crying for? No. And if you go outside again, you're going to stay out there. That's where you will live. Spirit went outside. I was so mad. Because I left the door cracked and I didn't think he squoze his little butt through it and got out there. And I was so mad. I was pissed off. I looked at his paws. I was like, your paws are dirty. I was so mad because he sleeps with me. You're not sleeping in my bed if you're going to go outside. I was so mad. I was like, you better clean your paws. Because I am angry with him. You better not go out there. He knows better. So if he wants to keep going out there, yeah, that's where he will live. He will not be an indoor kitty because I won't let him in my bed. Period. Anyway, moving forward. Yeah, I'm talking crap about you. You do not go out there. You are not an outdoor kitty. You better keep your paws clean. Okay. And there's fleas and ticks and stuff. This is North Carolina. I'll just read an article about the danger of ticks in your pets. Okay. Anyway. And I live on a busy street. Anyway. When I do your... So if you're going to ask about love, I'm going to ask for that person's birth date. And I'm going to pull as much, and their time, if you know it. And I'm going to pull as much of their chart as I can. Because even without the time, which would allow me to find their... Now, I have a book that will help me narrow down their moon sign to 3 choices. So I can kind of figure it out based on that. Hopefully it won't be 3 different ones. It'll be like 2. And I can maybe figure it out based on that and the person's characteristics if I ask a few questions about that individual. So I can still lock down the moon sign, but I can't do anything about the rising or the ascendant. But what I can still do, with even without the time, without the moon or the rising sign, I can still calculate other things that let me know or speak to the compatibility relationship wise. So this is my compatibility charts. Okay? And I look at the compatibility between the signs, and then I look at the elements as well. The elements go here. Okay? And then I'll check off what areas you may or may not be compatible in. Okay? So that is what my compatibility charts look like. If you get your astrology work done, your Zodiac compatibility is done here with Miss Joy. If I read for love, I look at it too, so I like to know what I'm dealing with, so I can tell you why you may be having the issues that you're having with said person, and they might not even be for you. They might just outright be cray-cray. So, the factors that you want to look at when you're looking at how to figure out if a person is compatible with you or not, you're going to want to look at their sun sign. You're going to want to look at your Mercury and your Venus, your Mars and your Jupiter, and possibly and definitely your Lilith. You also want to look at your North and South node as well, because North node at least, because, and you're also going, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We will touch on numerology a little bit when I get to it in a few minutes. Okay. You want to, of course, you want to look at your sun and moon, your sun sign, because that's one thing that, for instance, if you're both Leos, that might not work out. Or if you're both Aries, that might not work out, because you're going to both want to be in control of things. If you're both Aries, if you are 2 Leos, you are both going to want all the attention, and you really are going to be at odds about that, about who gets all the attention. And not really, I won't say giver and taker, but yeah, I still will say it, because if it were 2 Leos, like I said, one person would, Leos like to be the center of attention. Think about it. The Zodiac card, one of the Zodiac cards that represents Leo is the Sun card. The sun is what? The center of the universe. And that's how Leos kind of operate. They kind of want to be it. And they want the world to revolve around them. And if you are a person that can't, if you are 2 Leos, there's going to be a clash there. Because it's going to be a very at odds relationship. One person, everybody's going to want it to be all about them. And, you know, you have to have the balance. You have to have the giver and a taker. You have to have an attention whore and someone who can cater to that person's attention whore he needs. Okay, so you do want to look at the sun sign, but you can't go solely on the sun sign. Okay, you have to look at the Mercury, because that's going to be how you think and how you communicate. Okay, for instance, if you are the same Mercury, that's actually kind of a good thing, because you're going to think and you're going to communicate on a level that resonates with each other. You see what I'm saying? So if you're both Aquarius and Mercury, that's probably going to work out, actually, because you're going to understand why that person doesn't want to talk. You're probably going to be both very heavily introverted, and you're going to understand why that person doesn't want to go to that party or have that many friends, because you're not going to want to either. You know what I'm saying? If you're both if you, for instance, and if you're both, let's see, what's another good example? If you're both Aries, it's good to be compatible. Like I said, Mercury is one place where it's good to be a very similar energy of a sign. For instance, you would really want in your Mercury to be of the same element. You really would want your Mercury person to be a fire sign if you're a fire sign, or to be a water sign if you're a water sign, or to be an earth sign if you're an earth sign. You get me? because you want someone who's going to think similarly to you and who understands the way that you think and communicate. Okay? Now your Venus sign is the same thing. You're going to want someone whose love style is compatible to yours. I found out the very hard way that my Venus in Taurus is a complete clash with someone I was with who was the Venus in Sagittarius. Ooh, bad mix. Sagittarius, I know one tarot card reader, Hustler Jones, he refers to Sagittarius as the fun bunch. They don't want shit serious. They don't take shit serious. They don't, but they do, but they don't. Now, let me tell you that male Saggies and female Saggies are two very different creatures, okay? Because whereas male Saggies are very flighty and non-committal, my female Saggies that I know of, my daughters are all female Saggies. They're very committal, and they're very, but they want the shit to go their way. They want the ideal relationship for them, but who doesn't? So, but they're very committal and they're very loyal. Whereas Sagittarius man, honestly, they're not. So that was a bad match for Taurus and Venus, like me, who's very committal, who's very devoted, who's very catering, very nurturing, very have no fear of commitment, and prefers to be in a committed situation and to just be with one person. And it's very important for Taurus and Venus to have their person be for them and only for them. And a Sagittarius male is not that at all. They for everybody. I ain't even gonna lie to you, okay? They really just are not very committal and loyal. Okay? So, what in the world? This is so far behind. It makes no common sense. So that's another place that you want that compatibility to be strong. Fire signs are some are compatible with each other when it comes to love. Fire and air are compatible. You got air and water that are compatible, and earth can bring grounding to any situation. So most earth signs are really usually good lovers and very committal people. So, all right. Your Venus sign, we talked about your Venus sign, your Mars sign. Same thing. You're going to want somebody who, actually, I take that back. If you have a Mars if you're a fire sign in your Mars, if you're a fire sign, I would recommend someone who is a water sign and not an air sign. Because I'm going to tell you, that's the one area that, if, for instance, if you are Aries in Mars and you have somebody who's Aquarius in Mars, they're going to irritate the hell out of you because you're going to be like, they're not going to want to say anything. They're not going to want to talk about it. They're not going to want to discuss it. They're not going to want to deal with their emotions or their feelings or the issues at hand. They're just going to be like, whatever. They're not going to want to, And if you're Mars in Mars in Aries and Mars, you're going to want to talk about it. You are going to want to discuss it. You're going to be like, will you just say something? And your Aquarius and Mars is going to be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to argue with you. And there you go. So that's how you have to, in any given situation, when looking at compatibility, you have to apply, the elements are here for a reason. Your earth signs are Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Your water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Your fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And your air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You're going to want to apply elemental factors when looking at the compatibility of signs. If you're looking at love and there's a fire sign that is that is okay. Now let's go back to Mars. Let's not use love because love is odd. It's different. Taurus is very different. If you're, for instance, if you're looking at Mars, which is how you're going to handle your conflict, you're a fire sign, and your person is an earth sign in Mars. That would be a good thing because think about it. If you've got a fire and you throw dirt on it, what's going to happen? You're going to put it out. You're going to calm it. You're going to smother it. So that's a good thing. You want your partner to be able to calm your ass down when you're heated. That's one thing that you would want from your partner. He or she knows how to calm you down. I find that with water signs as well. Someone who is, if you're a fire sign in Mars, then a water sign would definitely bring that balance to you and calm you down. I find that overall. I've noticed that some of the best relationships I've had have been with water signs, and I'm strong. I have fire. Like I said, I'm Aries, Leo, and Sag, and my three first, Aries, Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Leo, Rising. My best relationships have been with Pisces and Cancers. Cancers, because they're very needy and very clingy, and it's very hard to keep a Cancer satisfied. I just don't have time, I suppose, in my life. I don't have the way I'm set up, the way my life is set up. I try to stay busy. I don't have time to sit around all day and coddle a Cancer. I just had one the other day that, I like to stay busy. I'm doing things. I have things to do. And he's like, well, I just wanted to talk. I don't have time to talk. Can you just text? I can walk and text. I can't. If I talk to you, I have to stop. I have to put this on my ear. I can't. You know what I'm saying? So while chemistry wise, it's very good with a Cancer, they just be a little too needy. The other Cancer I dated, I was doing my Friday Night Live. I don't play about my Friday Night Live. And he was in my phone text messaging me, talking about, you don't want to see me. You're still not here. And I was like, no, see, we can't do this, Cancer. The Scorpios that I've dealt with, I found to be too wishy-washy. They'll say they want one thing, but they will behave in a completely opposite way. That's just what I have found. They'll say they want something real, they want a relationship, but then they make dates and then they cancel and don't show up. That's what the behavior I found from a Scorpio. They just change up on you quick. They'll change their mind. They'll say, yeah, I want to see you, and then at the last minute, they don't want to see you, and then they almost fail to let you in, or when you call and be like, hey, what time do you want me to come? And be like, well, and then they'll put it on you. This was this last person. I thought you changed your mind. Did I say I changed my mind? No, you changed your mind, and you want me to feel like it's my fault because I messaged you twice today, and you're just now answering me talking about, well, I thought you changed your mind. I said, why would you think that? And it was like the second time this person had done that, and like the fourth time this person had canceled on me. So I was just like, you know what? Just stay over there, Scorpio. I'm good. So that's what I have found when dealing with Scorpios. So there are, like I said, there are many factors I can look at in compatibility without having to have your moon and your rising. All right. Like I said, Mercury is important. Venus is important. Mars is important. Jupiter is important. Uranus is important. Lilith is important. North Node and South Node is important because you want to make sure that you're on a similar life path. If your life purposes clash, you know what I mean? That's common sense. If your life purposes are so completely different that if one person, because you can have a life path that actually says that you need to focus on yourself and you need to focus on getting yourself in order and doing certain things for yourself. And it needs to really be about you in this lifetime. To be on a life, try to be in a relationship with someone who is altruistic, someone whose life path is to give to others and be giving of themselves, it's a clash. Because this person is never going to understand your basic goals. You get what I mean? All right. Now, that being said, oh, I have a business card just floating around. Oh, no, that's just a tag. All right. That being said, let me, one of the best ways to understand, and I found this, it makes it a little simpler to break it down. Where is it? Where is it in downloads? It's in downloads. Okay. All right. And I'm sure some of you maybe have seen this before somewhere, but the best way to remember or to what's the word I'm looking for? The best way to remember or to apply this is by saying you feel like your moon sign. You act like your rising sign. Your persona is your sun sign, and you think like your Mercury sign. Now, if I were to write this, I would add that you love like your Venus sign. Okay? Okay. All right. One of the other things that I wanted to now, understanding to break down, and I'll post these all for you, I hope, if it'll fit. Because sometimes YouTube won't let you post a picture in the community page because it's not the right size or pixels or whatever. Whatever. But understanding the planets. The sun, I am. The moon, I feel. So basically, we'd be saying the sun sign. I'd be saying I am an Aries. The moon sign, I'd be saying I feel like a Sagittarius. Your Mercury sign, I would be saying I think like an Aquarius. No, like a Pisces. My Venus would be I love like a Taurus. Mars would be I act like an Aquarius. Jupiter would be I grow, and I forget what that was. Saturn would be I achieve. Uranus would be I evolve. Neptune would be I dream. Pluto would be I empower. Okay? All right. And if I can't post this on the community page, you can check my Facebook. I'll post it there. Okay? The other one I wanted to look at or talk to you about is knowing what planet Okay, let me read this one to you first. What the planets represent. Sun represents your sense of purpose and how you are meant to shine. Moon, your inner light, inner world, and your emotions. Ascendant or rising, how you instinctively meet the world. How you deal with people, places, and things, basically. Mercury, how you communicate and make sense of things. Venus, what you need, what you value, how you receive, and your relationships. Mars, how you go after what you want. Jupiter, your confidence, truth, and path of expansion. Saturn, your stability, responsibility, and mastery. Uranus, how you liberate, innovate, and do things your own way. Neptune, your illusions, imagination, spirituality, and escapism. Pluto, your deepest emotional obsessions and attachments, power, and transformation. Okay? Now, next I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you what planets rule each sign. Okay? All right. So you got the sun. And basically the only zodiac sign ruled by the sun is Leo. Your color is yellow and your metal is gold. It says here. Aspects: ego, creativity, force, life force, joy, confidence, self-direction, and pride. Leo. The moon, the only zodiac sign that is ruled by the moon is Cancer. Emotions, instinctual reactions, introspection, and intuition. Cancer, your colors are white and silver. The tarot card is the High Priestess, and your metal is silver. The tarot card for Leo is the Sun. Okay, also the Strength card. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. The aspects are communication, magic, reasoning, intellect, and processing of information. All right, your color is orange. Orange. Your tarot card is the Magician. And your metal is Mercury. Duh. Yes, Mercury is a metal. Although it appears liquidy. It is, but it's a liquid metal. It happens. Okay. All right. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Love, beauty, relationships, attraction, pleasure, and money. Your colors are green and pink, aka colors. Tarot card is the Empress, and metal is copper. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Energy, anger, drive, passion, sex, vitality, and willpower. So colors are red, tarot card is the Tower, and metal is iron. The other cards that represent Aries are the Fool card and the Emperor card. Well, that says, and the Emperor card. And for Scorpio, you have the Death card. There's another one. Yeah, in the Tower. Yeah, I usually put the Death in the Tower. Okay? All right. Colors red and metal is iron. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So blue is the color. The tarot card is the Wheel of Fortune. For Sagittarius, the other card that represents Sagittarius is, what is it? The Temperance card. And for Pisces, you have the Moon card as well, right? Yes. And then, like I said, that's Jupiter. Abundance, generosity, wisdom, growth, and luck. And the metal is 10. 10. T-I-N. 10. And the color is blue. So Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Endings, fears, challenges, limitations, and self-control. The color is black. Tarot card is the World card, and the metal is lead. Okay? Other cards that represent Capricorn are the Devil card, and Aquarius is represented by the Star card. Okay? All right. Oh, that's what it was. Cancer is also represented by the Chariot card. That's what that was. I was trying to get out. I couldn't remember it right back then. Okay. All right. So now you know what planet rules your zodiac sign. All right. There's 7 in the chat. Everybody, please take the time to click like and subscribe. Okay. Now, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Before I skip over into numerology a little bit. Now, the other link that I'm going to put, and I love him to pieces. Did I drop my pen? I did. He be over there on his page getting lit. You go over to Mr. Fernando Prudhomme's page, and he'll have a big old spliff fired up, and he'll have whatever beverage he chooses of the day in his cup, and he be sipping, and he be lit, but he's accurate. The man is a brilliant astrologer, psychologist, tarot card reader, all things, all things esoterical, all things. He has a wealth of videos and knowledge on his page. So Mr. Fernando Prudhomme, I'm going to put If this pen will write. Fernando, there's something in the air tonight. The stars are bright. Fernando. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna put his link as well. If you ever have to, don't bother me. And don't be on, like, there's astrology pages on Facebook, and like for Aries and Taurus and Virgo. Don't be in there talking about our Aries compatible with this and that and the third. Don't do that. Because you can't go really according to your sun sign, but then you can. For me, I look more so at my Venus sign when I'm looking for compatibility to another person, an individual. But the main thing is, you have to remember that you cannot, when it comes to compatibility, you can absolutely not go based on your sun sign alone. You will be entirely fucked up. Entirely. You have to look at the body of an individual's chart. You are so much more than just your sun sign. Okay? But Fernando has, now take it how you want to, and look at whichever ones you want to. I would look at several. The sun sign and the Venus sign compatibilities. He has a video for each and every compatibility combination. He run it down the line. He's got Aries and Aries, Aries and Taurus, Aries in Pisces, Aries and Gemini, Aries, and you get what I'm saying? He's got them all. He's got them all. You can find, he's got Virgo and Aries. You know what I'm saying? He's got them all. You can find it on his page if you have any question as to whether or not you are compatible with this person, whether you use your Venus sign or whether you use your sun sign, or whether you use your moon sign, whatever you choose. You can look at several. You can look at your sun sign compatibility and your Venus sign compatibility. Because like I said, remember, you do not have to have the time of birth for the individual in order to find their Venus sign and their Mercury sign, which is how you think and communicate, how you love, and your Mars, how you handle conflict. Those are three major things and areas you want to look at when you're looking at compatibility to another individual. Because you need to know how a person handles their anger and frustration, and how they go about things, and how they think about things, and how they communicate, and how they love. Those are things you need to know. They just are. Now, you can look at other aspects down the line. Like I said, that'll tell you how a person deals with their money, how a person handles their business. You know what I mean? Lilith, how rebellious or head up in the clouds a person can be. You got to look at the whole chart. You got to look at the whole chart. All right, and I have in my list of services, both on my Facebook page and in the community and in the channel description of each video, and on the entire channel description and in the description of each video. You get what I'm saying? I say it all the time, every day. Don't know why I couldn't say it right then. But there is a list of services that I offer, and one of them is Zodiac compatibility and consultations. So if you do want to come to me for that, it's difficult. It is. So if you do want to come for me to that, I do that as well. Y'all out here just dating all willy-nilly. You better start getting this compatibility work done. I'm telling you, it'll save you some headache. It really will. It really, really will. So, like I said, one of those things that you look at in compatibility is life path, but not just for compatibility. One of the things that you want to look at for yourself, period, is life path. What challenges and obstacles are you going to are going to cross you? What are you supposed to be doing with yourself? What direction do you need to be going in? So for that, you're going to look at your north and south node, yes, but I'm going to also take your birthday and break it down numerology with numerology. Okay? And I'm going to find your life path number. And then I'm going to send you over to another page, because I just can't keep all that in my head. When life makes it too easy now. There's YouTube. Okay? So I would send you to, what is her daggone name? Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see her in my eye, in my head. See, my phone was listening to me. Bridget Love. I didn't even pull it up. I didn't even get to it, but her name came to me. Okay, Bridget Love. I'll put a link to her as well. In the comments. Once you have found, and as well, if you go to Google, once again, very simple. If you go to Google, and in the search bar, I'm going to put this link to. I'm going to put a link to this too. Hold on. But you can just hit your search bar, and you can put in life path calculator. And there's several. AstroSeek has one of those as well. And it's the same thing. You're going to enter your date of birth, month, day, and year, and then you're going to calculate your life path number, and there you go. Now, sometimes if you are what's called a master number, you may actually get 2. Okay? So you're going to take your life path number at that point, and you're going to go see Miss Bridget Love's page, and you're going to look at the videos that she has listed there for your life path number. And she's going to tell you what challenges that you're going to be faced with. She's going to tell you, basically, I think she says obstacles. She's going to tell you what path you should be on. She talks about compatibility of different life path numbers as well. So that's one thing you also want to look at when it comes to compatibility. Because, for instance, I have a twin flame. And my twin flame's life path number is 1 behind me. He's an 8 and I'm a 9. So when I've discovered that and figured out what it meant, I kind of pretty much had to come to terms with the fact that he's not going to be ready for the relationship that we're supposed to have in this lifetime. Like Erykah Badu said, I guess I'll see him next lifetime. He's not going to level up this time. Had I been successful, it could be avoided. We could have knocked out a lifetime and ascended. Because he's an 8 and I'm a 9. So I'm there. I'm ready. And he's not ready. Okay? So that's the other thing you're going to look at. Your life path number is also your angel number. You are assigned by this number to an archangel. The hierarchy goes as such. You have, and I know, but I've told you all before that I have this occurrence when I go to sleep. Sometimes I wake up and I'm dog tired because I wasn't asleep. I was in class of sorts. My spirit guide started taking me to what's called the Akashic Library. I thought I was about nutty as a fruitcake, and then I met a lady who's been there. Her name is Miss Elsa. She works for the Houston Astros in Houston, Texas, where I used to work. And she was describing it. We had a coworker that was standing there listening to our conversation. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to work. I'm gonna let y'all talk about that." And when I started to explain, she was like, "Yeah, I've been there. And it looks like this and it looks like that." And I was like, "Yes, and it looks like this and it looks like that." And she's like, "Yes, and then there's this and that." And we were like, "Yes, we're not crazy." Okay? Because let me tell you, and I've told this before, when my first experience there, I'm sitting there with my spirit guide. And we're in this ginormous library looking place. And we're at a table, and he's sitting, it's a round table. And he's sitting across from, and there's all these other tables around, just like in a library, where there's tables in the area. And there's books piled up on these tables, and not just books, but scrolls and like boards and like chalkboards. So basically, and it's a round table, so he's not really like across from me. He's like next to me, but he's kind of facing me. But our chairs are kind of facing each other. And so he's talking. And I'm like this. And he goes, "Are you paying attention?" And I went, "No, where are we?" And he says, "Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't explain, and I should have prepared for you to be overwhelmed." He was like, "You are very advanced, but I still needed to tell you where you are because you're also very curious, which is why you're very advanced." And he goes, "This is the Akashic Library." I was like, "You mean like in the Akashic Records?" He was like, "Yeah, but they're way down underneath of us. And only certain very, very higher level beings are allowed to access the actual Akashic Records." And I was like, "Okay." So he was like, "So they're like in a sub basement of a sub basement of a sub basement of a sub basement." And I was like, "Okay, I got you. Because he said way underneath of us. So what I'm seeing is like levels, like if you've ever seen an atrium area where there's like an open area and then there's all around it, there are other levels. And then there are stairs going up to each level. And there are levels as far as I can see until I can't see anymore. And I was like, "This is amazing." And he's like, everything ever written is here. Every shard of paper ever written on, every post-it note, every carving on a rock, every writing on a wall, everything ever written, even if you just wrote a mistake and balled that piece of paper up and threw it away, it is here somewhere. And I was like, "What the fuck?" He said, "From every universe, from every planet, from every existence ever, it is here." And I sat there just like this. I sat there breathless for several minutes. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, my brain never could imagine the workings of the I can't even, the enormity of the workings of this universe. I can't. I couldn't until I got there and saw that. I could never have wrapped my mind around how amazing this universe is and how truly, I've posted before on my Facebook page, and very few people understood what I meant when I said that to assume that the Creator has time for your itty bitty prayer is amazingly and awesomely arrogant to think that you're that important. I'm just saying, not that you're not important, but when I say there are bigger things that if there is a Creator that they have to pay attention to, you're crying about your flat tire or your relationship or your bank account or that bill that's due. Are you serious? So what I'm saying when I go here is this: there is indeed a hierarchy. And people go, "Well, how do you know?" When I'm sitting there in that library with my spirit guide, these are the things that I'm being told. These are the things that I'm being taught. These are the things that I am given privy to the knowledge of, so that I can refer them to my collective, to my soul family, to this world, so that everybody can possibly understand, so that we can actually get somewhere. Because until everyone does accept and understand it, we're not going to get anywhere. Do you understand? So when I explain this to people, they don't grasp it. They don't want to grasp it, which is why we're not going to get any fucking where. Excuse my French. So there's a creator of whose magnitude we cannot fathom. So underneath this creator, there are many, 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 many gods. Many gods. I hate to break it to you, Christians. Yahweh is not the only God. Because if he were, and he says in the Bible that he is a jealous God, and there shall be no other gods before me, who is he jealous of if he's the only one? Duh. In the New Testament, Jesus defeats the God Baal in the name of his Father. There are many, 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 many gods. Okay? Okay. There are archangels. Now, your archangels see to us. Okay? Your archangels are on a bigger scale appointing your team. You have a team that will consist of your spirit guides, your ancestors, lower level angels, and guardian angels and watchers. Your watchers will document your life. And that's one of the things that is held, and they write the Akashic records. That is what's held in your Akashic record. Your Akashic record is a book about you. It's your life. It's everything you've done, everything you said, everything you thought, all that is in a book. And someone has to watch you. So when I open and I say, spirits of the ancestors, gods and goddesses, guardian angels, and watchers, that's who I'm talking about. Your guardian angels, they try to help. Your ancestors, they try to help. Okay? They try to help guide you. They try to help protect you. They try to help guard you. They try to help influence you. They try to help lead you to make the right decisions. I can imagine minds are thoroughly I know some days they're pulling their freaking hair. They're like, Lord, what is she? We done told this girl, don't call him. Don't you message him. Don't. How many times we have to tell you to relax? How many times we have to tell you not to worry? How many times did you tell you it's going to be all right? You know what I'm saying? Just be patient. These are the things that I'm sure your guardian angels and your ancestors are sitting there trying to convey to you, whether you want to hear it or not. And your watchers are sitting there making notes. Didn't listen. Texted X again. Didn't listen. Skipped breakfast again. Won't listen. Has not seen a doctor in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Laughed at inappropriate joke. You know what I mean? This is what's going on. So when you get your life path number, it's also going to tell you that's also what's called an archangel, your angel number. You can Google that and see what, like, my archangel is Uriel. My archangel is Uriel. Ariel or Ariel? Ariel. So, and it'll tell you what things that you need to pray for your archangel for. Mostly when you need guidance of sorts, you're going to pray or talk to, because see, that's where people are praying to. You're not going to pray, and I don't mean to disappoint people. I think I told someone this and they got upset with me. But you're honestly not going to pray to your God. You're honestly not going to pray to your God. You are honestly going to be needing to pray to your archangel. And then your archangel will get your soul team, your team, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your other guardian angels, and get them on the path that they need to get on in order to help you. Do you see what I'm saying? You're going to pray to your archangel for protection and guidance and da 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 da. And then they're going to put your team in action to get done what you need to get done. Now, you might not like how long it takes, and you might not understand what it takes, and you might not like it. But if you ask for an end result, they're going to set things in motion in your life so that you can get to that end result. Now, you may not understand along the way, but that's what's going on. Okay? Okay. All right. And in turn, the archangels are ruled by your gods. Okay? Okay. Now, what you do for your gods is that's where your worship comes in. That's where your offers, your sacrifices, and your offerings and such and come in. And that's basically to oversee that next level. You know what I'm saying? To oversee your archangels, to oversee everything working there. So there's a hierarchy. Okay? All right. So I hope that everybody understands, because that's how it works. You got the creator. Don't even go there. Your creator, the creator is greater than you can fathom and imagine. And then there are the gods. Now, keep in mind, they're busy as well. But they got bigger fish to fry as well. Even if you are, or Santeria or Yoruba or some of the other cultures, right, Marie? Mine too. Or the other cultures, you have to think about how many people, everybody's talking about Oshun nowadays. You know how many people she got offering to her, and do you have any idea? Do you really think she has the time to attend to your needs? She tells she's going to send your archangel out to see over your particular guidance and situation. Okay? And then your archangel in turn is going to talk to your ancestors and your spirit guides and your guardian angels. And they're going to actually get these things in motion. Okay? So try to understand. Some of y'all are praying entirely wrong. You better talk to these archangels. You better talk to these ancestors. You better talk to these guardian angels. They're there to help. And let's all, as a collective, try not to frustrate them so much. I know they're thoroughly frustrated me. I know they're like, girl, if you don't have some faith, it's hard. I'm hurting. And I know that it's supposed to be for some kind of growth, but I don't want to hurt anymore. And I don't know what contract I signed, so I know they're thoroughly aggravated, but I'm trying to listen. They wanted me to quit working. I did, finally. It took me a while. They had to basically just break me freaking down and make me just sit down. So they sat me down. And so I'm just here with y'all now. Right, Marie? The fine print. I missed the fine print somewhere. It's something I didn't see, or something I didn't. There was some underlying there's some underlying wording in my contract that I missed, or something I agreed to that I didn't. Something. I missed something. Okay. So, I think we've covered everything needed for the evening. I think we have. Did anybody have any questions? Okay, all right. I got that. They said, if you want to know how you get to, like, I've interacted with my spirit guide and had my lessons and have lessons and still receive downloads and upgrades and all that good stuff. You're gonna meditate. You're gonna meditate. There are meditations all over YouTube to unlock your third eye chakra, to unlock your crown chakra, to find out who your spirit guides are, to level up, to okay, awesome. If you want help, Marie, just send me her info, or you can enter it on AstroSeek and pull it up, and you can read all about it. It's not hard. It used to be hard when I first started doing this. I have a giant book. It's right here. This book is about this thick. And before there was a website, I had to use that thick ass book. It's a big book. So, right, some people do, Marie. Some people do have trouble concentrating while they meditate. My mind wanders off to other things, and usually I just end up in dream realm anyway. If I meditate deep enough, I'll just go to sleep and start having visions. Or well, they're still called visions. Yeah, they're still called visions. Premonitions, visions, experiences, classes, whatever. Whatever. So, I got a lot of links to put in the comments. I'm going to put those in the comments. I think we've covered everything. If nobody has any questions, we got 4 watching. Okay, I have 7 likes. Okay. Hopefully lots of people will watch this on the playback. Thank you, Marie. I wish we had more people in the chat, but that's all right. I think I upset some people by telling them their ancestor wasn't here. I mean, Marie, I can't with that person. She asked me to channel her father. Her father is no longer on the other side. And I kept asking, they were like, nope, not here. They just kept saying, nope, not here. And so I was like, hi, Amber. And I was like, I can't help Edith. I love her, but her father's spirit is no longer on the other side to communicate with. They don't stay all the time. They move around, and she can be salty about that all that she wants, or feel like I wasn't being honest with her. But if that person's not there for me to contact, I can't do anything about that. I just told her honestly what the deal was. He's reincarnated somewhere. He is not. And my person kept saying, nope, he's not here. He is not here. So, I don't know. I haven't seen her since. But yes, but meditation, you can do sleep meditations. They are effective. Make sure that it's some with binaural beats or frequencies. They're really good, and they're really accurate ones. Not just words. You know what I'm saying? You really want, like I said, the binaural beats or the frequencies, not just subliminal words. So if you need sleep meditations, if awakened meditation is not for you, which is not for everybody, most people are going to do better in the subconscious, in the 4D when you're sleeping, because you're between the veils then. You know what I'm saying? You are in another realm. So it makes sense. There's too much going on in the waking world. It's hard to turn your brain off when you're awake, especially when you have responsibilities. Okay? All right. So you're welcome, everybody. I'm going to do, and Marie, anything that you need help with concerning your daughter, because she is a light worker, so we have to nurture our up and coming light workers, because by the time she is our age, she's going to be badass. If she grasps her path and opens up and becomes in alignment now with herself and with spirit and her spirit guides, she'll be awesome. By the time she's our age, she'll be like 20 and like doing everything we do. I do. You do. We do. Okay? So, because she's a shaman. She really is. She's a light worker. So anything I can do to help, I got y'all. All right. So I love you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, everybody takes time to click like and subscribe. I'm going to do questions. I don't know if anybody's going to be here because this was kind of dead. At some point, I have to do the weekend read. I'll get to it. And if not, it's my birthday weekend. I deserve some time off, but I'll get to it. But I am going to do questions. I just got to go potty. And so I'm going to log off, and I'll be back to do some questions. Love you guys. Good night.